Hey everybody, welcome to an all new episode of Let's Stay Together. Come on in, I am so excited to have Hogh Andersen on the show today. He of course stars in Vikings, so we're going to talk all about the show and his fan favorite character and dive deep into that and so much more. But first, before I grab him, I have to give a huge shout out to my sponsor for today's show. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I'm a health and fitness fanatic and I'm very careful of what ingredients I put in my body. So I wanted to introduce you guys to Nut Pods. This is a dairy-free creamer made from coconuts and almond milk. And the best part is no sugar. So you can enjoy your cup of caffeine, your coffee, your tea, and enjoy it in the morning without feeling like you're putting gross things in your body. So Nut Pods, I will have a link in my bio after the interview, so you can click it, and if you use my name, Tommy Dadidario, you will get 20% off your first order. It's delicious. This is their new chocolate flavor, but they also have a cotton candy, which is to die for, a toasted marshmallow, and so much more. So check it out. I love it. I have it every morning. And now, without further ado, let me grab my guest for a great... Hey man, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Tommy? Hi.
How
Hey,
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me.
No, well, it was my pleasure. I appreciate it. Am I going through loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You're good.
Outstanding. Perfect. Yeah, well, because I am a few thousand miles away from you right now.
I know, that's crazy. New York City right here and
Mm,
Denmark right there. So
Denmark right here.
it's 7 p.m. where you are, right?
It is. It is. As far as I know, yeah. I'm so happy for the help. By the way, I was getting a little stressed. I thought on the email for all the guys listening, I got an email saying, "Hey, the show is tonight at 9 p.m." And I was like, 9 p.m. But the countdown on Instagram says it's in an hour and a half. Wait, what is going down? So I got a little nervous. I'm not super technical. But I'm here. It's live. All is good. Kind of
You're
well.
here, my man. Well, thank you for joining. So, to give you background, I started this show over a year ago when COVID shut the world down because, I wanted people to have a place that they can turn to every single week for some joy and hope and inspiration to just have fun. And you are somebody who brings all of that and more. So, it's a pleasure to have you. I know your fans are super psyched. They sent in a ton of great questions. So, for all the fans watching, I'm going to ask the most popular questions towards the end of the interview. So, stick around for that. But if you're ready to
Cool.
rock, man, we have a lot to get to.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Go.
So, first of all, I mean, you are such a brilliant actor, and you played an incredible, incredible character in Vikings, which has worldwide phenomenon. People love this show. The final season dropped a few months back, so I want to take you back for a minute. What was it about this show that initially attracted you to wanting to be in it? Like, what made you be like, I have to play this part and do this show?
First and foremost, thanks, man. You're way too nice. Um, to answer your question, like I was a nobody coming into the show, So for me to get that opportunity, I was like, thank you very much. I'll gladly accept it. Appreciate it. Perfect. I wasn't in any position whatsoever to say like, oh yeah, do I like this character? Do I not? No, no. To me, that was like, okay, I'm going to be an actor on Vikings. Are you kidding me? Okay, yeah, that's a solid yes. So I didn't even know what character I was going to play in the beginning when we started auditioning. Because
No
we were
way.
auditioning for all the brothers. We were auditioning for all the brothers. Yeah.
So, did you audition? When was your first audition? Like, what was that whole process like for you?
My first audition was like just a regular self-tape. I put my camera up. I record myself speaking, weird accents and doing weird lines about blood and terror and stuff like that. And apparently it worked. So I got to a second audition. And then the third audition was, we were like 14 guys getting invited to Dublin, where we shot the whole thing and lived. And for those 3.5 years I was on Vikings. So we were sitting there, 14 guys, looking at each other like, are you my competitor or my future colleague? It was intense. It was an intense audition session. But yeah, I was auditioning for all the brothers. I had no clue who I was going up for.
Wow. Now, and did you have to bring a lot of that intensity in your audition, like screaming and going crazy,
Well,
or?
yeah, but that that came natural because you're in a tense situation. I remember, yeah, I remember that. I remember just coming into the room, and Michael Hurst is there, our creator, and the director that's gonna shoot the next two episodes, and just all these like heavy dudes, like you can see they're important, and you're like, okay, I'm just a Danish dude. I'm not even comfortable speaking English, but let's just go. So
Wow.
yeah, that's how it
Man,
went down.
and congrats to you. I know that was your first, big role, and what a role to play. I mean,
Thank you.
Ivar is such a fan favorite. People absolutely love this character so much, and all the darkness he brought to the show, and watching his tragic rise and tragic fall, and
Yeah.
people were rooting for you in the end. So, what did you love about getting to play such a great character like this?
Well, just as you said, all the ups and downs.
Yeah.
That's always fun for an actor to get into, because he's complicated, and that's always so much fun to take on as an actor, because you always have to defend that dude, even how tough he makes that job for you. Because I mean, at one point in time in season 6, when he started burning people for a living, I was like, Michael Hurst, are you kidding me? How am I supposed to? How am I supposed to make people still kind of love him and kind of like him? But every single time it's a challenge. That's when it gets fun, it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you that.
Man, were you kind of protective of him because you felt like you had to figure out a way to
Oh,
make people like him?
absolutely. I need to be. I need to be, because I need to constantly understand him and never judge him. And if I struggle with that, the audience will absolutely 100% too. So I have to be that last line of defense, so to speak. So I need to always, like, okay, why is he doing this? Oh, maybe he's blinded by love. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. That I understand, and that I can act, and that I can play. And that just changes how you say a line. Instead of saying a line one way, you all of a sudden say that line with a question mark in the end of it, to and put emphasis on him and how troubled he is and what he's struggling with. And yeah, no, it's all those little teeny tiny bits and pieces here and there, all the devil's in the details, really. And that's also what makes this job really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, watching you play that role was certainly fun for many people to
I
see
appreciate it.
where you were gonna take him, right, and where you were gonna
Yeah.
bring him next. Well, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
why
well,
do
I
you
didn't know too. I didn't know either.
really were you how? That's another good point. How often
Yeah.
did you get your storylines ahead of time?
Oh, I wish they would have gotten, I would have received them at least like a month before shooting. But that was never the case. It was always maybe a week, if we were very lucky, 2 weeks. And that was while we were still shooting the current episodes. So you were still, rehearsing that massive monologue or speech you had to the people that you still needed to shoot. And while you were rehearsing that on your own, you got all the scripts coming in for the next two episodes, and you forget about the monologue because you wanna figure out what's going on in the next episode, who's getting killed, am I still alive, all that stuff. And it was tough because you had to juggle a lot of different things at one time. And yeah, sometimes it was pretty darn frustrating, because yeah, it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah, I mean, people get to watch it and enjoy the work you put out, but it's work, and people don't always remember how much goes into creating a character so intense, like your
Exactly.
character, right? And nobody's closer to Ivar than you are. So, what would you say is the reason why fans of the show responded so well to him, and he did become a fan favorite even with his darkness? What do you
I
think
think,
it is?
yeah, no, it's like, I think it's because he's an anti-hero. I personally love anti-heroes, like Walter White, Breaking Bad, and like he's one of my favorites all time. And you like rooting for somebody who's not 100% perfect all the time because no shit, Sherlock, we as human beings are not perfect all the time. So I just think it reflects a more accurate image of who we are as people as well.
Right.
That's why I prefer Batman over Superman. You know, you get my point. It's like Batman he's way more flawed than Superman is, and hey, that's for all the geeks out there, but including me. But it's I love that he's complicated,
Yeah.
and you can and every single time you create a complicated character that has a lot of depth to him, then you challenge the audience and you force the audience to always try to question him and ask themselves what they think about him and his actions and why is he doing what he's doing, and all that is just keeping people activated and engaged to the story and the character, and I think that's what it's all about. That's
Yeah.
my job, to keep people engaged in the story.
Absolutely, and that you did, my man. Very, very well so. So let's talk about some of your epic scenes. Quite a
Yeah.
lot in the course of this show. I'm sure you have many that are close to your heart. But if you had to pick a few that you'll always remember and you'll carry with you for the rest of your life, and that were just so much fun to film, walk me through a couple scenes that you love.
Oh, it's so hard. I got a few. Man. Um, Obviously, there's the obvious one. The yelling Icelandic in the rain with blood in my face in York. You know, "Þú kan ikke drepa mig," that whole thing. You can't kill me scene. I love that one. That was epic. It was tons of fun. I was 22 years old when I shot that thing, so I was like, you know, I was still a young gun. So for me to shoot that scene was like, oh, you know, I really enjoyed that a lot. That was the dude in me loved that thing. There's another scene that's really close to my heart, which is a scene in, I think, season 5, part 2. I don't know, episode 18 or something like that, where he's in the woods and he's saying goodbye to his child, his little boy, Balder, which it was just such an interesting scene because it was very heartfelt and he was super honest, and it was just great to see him be so vulnerable. And I live for those scenes because, you know, as you said yourself, half of the time he is, you know, doing epic stuff that's, you know, crazy and killing people and yelling and screaming and all that. I personally, I kind of almost live more for the quiet and the quiet moments, the solo moments, the still moments where he's just in his own head and thinking and struggling and, you know, yeah, yeah, having a hard time. I love that. I love that scene because it was just real. It was just real.
Yeah, and it's cool to see from a character standpoint as a viewer those different sides to a character.
Exactly.
Right, that you think is one way, but then suddenly you see a different tone or a different emotion. I think
exactly.
It's cool. Yeah, that's super cool. Now, I'm fascinated by your character's relationship with love, right? Because it's complex.
Struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, right? I mean, there's the Vikings who rejected him, right? The culture that rejected him. There's the dad who was absent, the mom who was over the top smothering